Welcome to the official MoonWilly.com podcast, your source for news and updates from the hottest token in DeFi. Here's your host, the voice of DeFi, Steven.
What's up, everybody? Today I was able to have an AMA with Prakash Somosundram. He is the CEO at Enjinstarter, which is a next-generation launchpad for blockchain games and the metaverse. And he had some really great things to say about how they conduct their business, how they achieve funding for both their own project as well as funding for the projects that choose to launch their games through Enjinstarter. So it was a fantastic conversation. I enjoyed it, and I hope you do too.
What's up, everybody? I am ready, MoonWilly, and I am ready today for a fire AMA. We have a lot of AMAs here where we will learn from some industry leaders, some industry experts, and today is no different because we've got Prakash of the CEO of Enjinstarter today, and man, we are really going to have some knowledge dropped on us as they're trying to put together the next generation launchpad for blockchain games and the metaverse, all using the Engine ecosystem. And I'll want to be learning as much as I can possibly. You know, we just have a short amount of time, and I try to ask every question I can because I want to get every little bit of information that I possibly can extract from Prakash's brain. But he's already been in here. He's already came in here and said, hi, what's up? So I appreciate that. Prakash, how are you doing today?
Hey, Kevin, I'm doing well.
Excellent. Well, I'm doing well over here too. My part of the world, it's getting a little colder, a little more winter kind of weather, and I'm just not used to it. So I'm kind of bundled up here, kind of bundled up near my my microphone, trying to stay warm, hoping my computer can put off a little bit of heat. But yeah. And, enough about my weather. Let's we're going to get into Enjinstarter quite a bit, but first I want to learn about you. Tell me a little bit about Prakash. How did you get started in crypto and gaming? Kind of give me your origin story.
Sure. So I built my career in digital advertising, built and sold a company to a group called WPP. So I've always been in the forefront of technology, always trying new things, testing it, pitching it to clients. And in 2013, I had the opportunity of watching my younger brother, who used to run a cafe called Artistry here in Singapore, and he was the first establishment in Singapore to accept Bitcoin as a form of payment. I started seeing how there's a new way of payments, and I kind of followed him on that journey. And of course, he did very well for himself. Started getting a lot more into the space in 2017. I had the opportunity of doing an IPO in 2016, and that kind of led me into crypto. Did an ICO on my own, started investing into projects, and I started getting very curious about the space. I kind of understood that we were very, very early in the space. There's something big that was going on. We started doing a lot of ecosystem development. We started forming communities. We started advising. We started investing as a syndicate. And of course, we made money, and we also lost money on ICOs. But it was a great journey. We knew that there was something exciting that was going on. So we kept, attending events. We kept going to events, kind of understand where this was heading into. Got involved with a whole range of things in the industry. I did take a break during the bear market. I was more involved with a food tech startup, but I was still trading. I was still keeping in touch with the space. Got back a lot more in 2020, just as the pandemic was unfolding, and we started getting deeper we started watching what was happening in the NFT space. And I was given an opportunity to invest a very, very small allocation in Infinity in 2020. Read the white paper, knew that there was something big that the Engine team was getting into, had an opportunity to invest, and also realized that there was an opportunity to build a Launchpad. There was focus on Engine as well as Infinity. And lo and behold, we pitched it to the founders of Engine, who are also based here in Singapore. And we started work on this project in April. We did our public sale early in October, and it's been slightly more than a month. It's been hell of a journey. We're still very young. We've made a lot of mistakes. We're learning very, very quickly. But we've done, in a very, very short time frame, 3 IDOs. We're gearing up for another 6 IDOs to happen in November. And we're really, really excited about the space. We strongly believe that blockchain gaming will be a big part of crypto moving forward. It's not just a trend that's here today. And we're very excited about what's...
Yeah, this is not a fad, I think is what you're saying. This is something that's going to stick around. It's got some staying power. Well, that's interesting to hear as far as your journey. And that's definitely...
Moon, when Lambo.
Hey, now we can get started. We got a win Moon, win Lambo in here. But yeah, definitely your journey is just that. It's a journey. It wasn't one moment that you completely, flipped the switch, if you will. It was kind of a journey of different experiences to bring you to where you are now, and now to create Enjinstarter, which I think is fantastic. If anybody wants to take a look at their website as we're doing the AMA, go to Enjinstarter.com. Really pretty website. I'm going to ask about his graphic work here in a bit because I like their little caricatures they have written for their whole team. So I find that to be amusing. So great website. You can learn a little bit about it while you're listening to the AMA. But so for those that are listening that maybe don't know much about Enjinstarter, can you give us kind of a 10,000 foot overview over what Enjinstarter is all about and what you hope to see it accomplish?
Sure. So we are Launchpad focused on blockchain gaming as well as metaverses. We believe, gaming is what is accelerating us into the metaverse, and the metaverse is going to change the way that we live, work, and play. So we are looking for projects who are in this space. We're looking to invest in them as early as we can. We're looking at accelerating them within our community, helping them fundraise, helping them, fine-tune their business, and also helping them crowdfund on our platform. So that's primarily our reason for existence. Being the first Launchpad on Engine, we are very excited because Engine's like the OG in blockchain gaming. They did their ICO in 2017, and they're building a whole lot of infrastructure ever since, right? So imagine a group that has been building NFTs, building infrastructure for blockchain gaming for the last 5 years, and now building a blockchain on Polkadot, which is called Infinity, which is rolling out early in 2022, which will create this super corridor where NFTs can be cross-chain, and we're really, really excited about this. And that's primarily what we do, very, very focused on blockchain gaming and metaverses, but primarily what we are ecosystem builders. We're constantly looking at doing partnerships. We're constantly partnering up with competitors, other infrastructure providers, other chains, and we take projects from all across the blockchain space. And what we really want to do is kind of help everyone become multi-chain and cross-chain and build the ecosystem collectively.
Yeah, that's amazing. I really like the cross-chain things that you have, cross-chain NFTs, and just how you're trying to help people build things that are not just located on one chain. I think that is good for even just the space and the industry as a whole. I think what you're doing is very good there. So you've already had some great success stories as far as you've had 3 IDOs that you've already had that have launched. How are these projects doing? Are they successful for their, where they are in their journey?
Sure. I mean, very, very honestly, we've been very, very fortunate. We had the opportunity of helping DeFi launch, and this was slightly more than a week after we had done our own IDO. And DeFi has done more than 20x on their public IDO. We're very, very optimistic about this project. The team's highly talented. I think their understanding of introducing DeFi into gaming has been phenomenal. And shortly after that, we had the opportunity of working on Gaia Everworld. Again, a team that comes from a very strong pedigree of DeFi. They have been running a project called Unilayer for quite some time. And now they're building a game platform on top of whatever knowledge and experience that they have in DeFi. And this is kind of where we're really, really excited about what they've done. The public IDO price was 16 cents. If I'm not wrong, currently is trading slightly under $1. So we've been pretty fortunate to be working with some of these pedigree projects. We're very excited about the projects that we're currently working on. The third IDO that we did was a project called Pixelverse. We haven't done the TG yet, but it's really exciting to see the infrastructure that they're building in the NFT space. And we are highly confident that we're very, very early in the space. There's still a lot of technology that needs to be built in order for the mass market to start coming in. I think that's our excitement being in the space.
Well, I mean, it's a good time to be in the space for sure, because, right now you've got, NFTs are so big right now in 2021, but I think that's about to kind of cross over into gaming and play to earn games and things like that in 2022. And you're very well positioned for that. So you guys you're an incubation program. You're helping with funding. You're helping with a lot of things. Do you have many applicants? Do you turn down applicants for your incubation program? What's the criteria? If I'm trying to look into getting my game with Enjinstarter started, how would that begin, and what's the process like?
Sure. So usually it starts with a call. We ascertain where they are. We speak to the team, understand their background, understand their experience, not just in gaming, but in entrepreneurship as a collective. And then we've got 2 different tracks, right? One is acceleration, where the project is already quite mature. They may already have a commitment with another Launchpad. And then we work very closely with them to kind of accelerate them on our Launchpad. It's primarily focused on investor readiness, as well as organizing a successful crowdfunding exercise. And then we've got a second group, which could be pretty early in their journey. A lot of them tend to be traditional gaming companies that are now looking to embrace blockchain as part of their strategy. We get involved with them at a much earlier stage. We invest in them. We also provide a whole range of incubation services, which ranges from helping them with their tokenomics or reviewing the tokenomics, planning their strategy, preparing them from an investor readiness perspective, right up to kind of planning their token sale, and beyond that, helping them with an exchange strategy, advising them on their market making, and so on and so forth. Of course, incubation requires a lot more effort from us, and we also do take a share of the advisory tokens. And typically, I would say it takes us about 100 to about 120 days to bring a project from an idea to running a successful Launchpad campaign. With acceleration projects, at this point in time, things are happening a lot quicker and faster. We still rally around the project to ensure that they get the maximum support so that they can run a smooth and successful campaign.
Wow. Okay. So 120 days, you're moving pretty fast. It sounds like to me to get these guys going, because I know in crypto time that's a long time, but
it's
in
longer
reality,
than dog years, right?
Right. Yeah, that's exactly right. It's things move really fast. Well, if somebody is wanting to they've got a product, and like you said, they can either do acceleration or end-to-end incubation. What's your business model? What are they having to give up? Are they just giving up a portion of their tokenomics that goes to you, or are they having to pay an upfront fee, or both?
No. So we don't believe in charging a fee. I think that approach is long gone. We believe in investing. We believe in having skin in the game and having an allocation in their tokens. And that's our business model. But the key priority that we have is that they need to be in a place where they have a working demo or some form of a playable game before we actually start working with them, or at least before we actually do a token sale. That's going to be a prerequisite, right? Gone are the days where you do an ICO project with a piece of paper, raise a lot of money, and try to build something. And I think just looking at the success of the 2 IDOs that we have done on our platform, the sooner that you can launch an alpha or a beta or some form of a playable game from the time that you do the IDO is the measure of success of that project, right? Because in crypto, people have a very, very short memory recall. And if you raise capital and you take more than a month to roll something out, they forget about you. They start to think that you're a scam. They will start dumping your token, and it's not something that is helpful for anyone in the ecosystem.
Okay, yeah, and that makes sense. And I think that's great that your business model is just like that, to where, you're basically getting skin in the game by investing in the project. But it sounds to me like to do that, it must be in projects that haven't had an IDO yet. They haven't released their token. It's got to be at least, and maybe you can answer that for me. Let's say somebody already has a demo, has very early stages of their game out, but they've also already released their token and it's being traded. Are they too late at that point to be able to work with you?
Yeah. So at where we are today, I think that's too late for us. We are looking at introducing other ways that projects that have already launched to participate within our ecosystem. It could be a case where they launch a limited edition NFT or do some form of a secondary issuance in our platform. We are introducing other ways where people can start participating with some of these mature companies. But for now, our primary target is still securing allocations for a public IDO and giving that to our community and sharing that allocation with the community. I think that's the value that we're bringing into the ecosystem today.
No, I think that's a great answer, because you're right. Whenever a token project or a gaming project puts out that first token, there still may be other iterations of what they're going to be putting out, whether it be NFTs or, usually it's going to be NFTs, but maybe it's some other currency that might be used in game. There's probably a lot of different opportunities there. So I'm glad to hear that you have some sort of potential plan for that type of thing, because as you get bigger, I would guess that actually will happen. That you'll have people that see what you're doing, see what you're putting together, and want to kind of have a part of it. So the incubation program, that's kind of an end-to-end support for it. Has that program been utilized well? Do you find that the projects so far that have been released with that have leaned on your team's expertise and ability to basically bring in funding?
We've only just started with that. And the first batch of projects that we'll be launching as part of our incubation will be in January next year. And a lot of these guys are, very experienced gaming companies, but now doing a token sale or an NFT sale for the first time. So we haven't really done end-to-end program completing with a public sale yet, but it's in the way. We're currently working with a few projects that we'll be announcing very, very soon that are actually coming out of our incubation space. And to just address one point from our earlier topic, the difference that we're seeing at this point of time is there are projects that have already issued a token, but now looking at doing a land sale, or they're looking at selling infrastructure in their game or metaverses. And they are now reaching out to us to actually see if we can actually host part of that sale. And this is where it starts to get exciting because we know that the project has already raised capital by issuing a token. We know that the project is legit. We know that the project is heading in a positive way. And now we can actually hold a dedicated sale for our community to actually now participate in a project like that.
Okay, great. And like I said, it sounds like you've got quite a few good plans for those kind of things where there is opportunities for them. Whenever, you get your incubation program blowing and going and you're really going well with it, how many projects are you wanting to take on at one time? Is there a maximum, or is it unlimited as long as you have the staff for it?
Yeah, so we're young, we're very hungry. We're definitely looking at doing more. We're growing the team. A lot of investors who have participated with us in the beginning are starting to play a bigger role with us. They're supporting us with our incubation programs. Some of them are looking after tokenomics for some of these projects. Some of them are leading with partnerships. They're leading with a whole range of ways. So I believe that, at this stage, we are happy to serve as many people as we can. But in order for us to do this, we got to grow beyond organically. We need to grow in a very rapid way. And the only way that we can do this in a very efficient way is bringing in more people who have value and, everyone's kind of cooperating in a cooperative, collective-based manner. And that's the way that we're growing at this point of time. And with this, we can actually take more and more projects month on month.
Okay, great. Yeah, it sounds like you've got plans to certainly grow, but I think the biggest part that you said was the first thing, which is you are young and hungry and ready to grow and take on whatever you possibly can. Just as a quick reset, this is the MoonWilly.com live podcast. MoonWilly is a token that is an auto rewards token that can pay a percentage of every transaction to you in DAI. The more MoonWilly you hold, the more of that DAI you could get. My name is Steven. I go by the voice of DeFi here on these AMAs and anytime I'm on the air. So I always invite you to come back in here and listen to these AMAs or just listen to us talk about the topics of the industry. So you've really talked a lot about your incubation and what you can do to start out a project, but you really showed a lot of institutional investors. As I look at your webpage and I kind of scroll to the bottom, I see a lot of little icons from the institutional investors. How has your project gotten so much traction for funding?
So the way that we looked at it is that with every investor, we kind of mapped out what's going to be the value that they're going to bring into the project. And instead of going after large institutional investors, we decided to restrict the allocation per investor so that we could actually work with more people. And each one of them is playing a key role with the way that we're trying to build the ecosystem. They are either introducing projects to us, or they are helping us build micro communities, right? Some of these communities could be localized to geographies, like say Vietnam, Indonesia, as well as in Korea. And each one of this is localized to the native language, and our partners there have invested in us and are also helping us build the community there. So the way that we saw fundraising is that it's got to be money plus plus. What is it that you can bring to the ecosystem beyond just money? And that's the way that we actually brought these guys in. And it's been helpful because, we are building this business in a time where we cannot travel. I've not been on a plane for more than 2 years. Additionally, when you're fundraising, you get on a plane, you go on a roadshow, you start pitching.
Hello, are you there?
Yeah, okay. Lost you for a bit. Yeah. So we can't travel in this extended lockdown that we're experiencing, and the only way that we can actually build an ecosystem is by having strong partners representing us in every continent possible, and helping us grow the ecosystem from there. And that's the primary reason why we have attracted so much partners. And I would say that that's the primary reason for the success that we're experiencing.
Excellent. Yeah, you definitely got some success. I really like what you said earlier, where you are a money plus plus. In other words, just bringing a big load of money to the table isn't enough for you. You want them to bring you projects or some other form of expertise. How did you arrive at that decision to make it to where they needed more than money? Was it previous experience or just... Okay, maybe from previous stops or previous, career stops that you've had before.
That's right. So previous experience in both crypto and non-crypto. I've raised money from traditional VCs. I've also had equal success with crypto VCs. And crypto VCs are the guys that actually go the extra mile. They're always adding a lot of value, helping you in a whole range of ways. It could be capital introductions. It could be introductions to communities. It could be a whole range of these support that we actually get. And honestly, that's something that you don't get from the traditional startup VCs, because those guys pump in capital. They meet you quarterly just to get projections. And once in a while, maybe you get invited to a meal, or they make an introduction, but they don't really support you much. But crypto VCs and crypto investors are very, very different.
Love that about this space. Like you said, they're very different. They are willing to help. And it's not just the giving you the funds. It's more to it than that. So your project also shows that you've gone through several rounds of token sales for the Enjinstarter token. Tell me a little bit about the Enjinstarter token and how it'll be utilized in your ecosystem.
Sure. So primarily at this point in time, the key is holding our tokens, and by holding those tokens, getting allocations to some of the projects that we're launching on our platform, right? So there are three ways that you can make money: by buying our tokens early and getting the appreciation of the token value increasing. Secondly, you can either stake it, which we are introducing very, very soon. But the exciting thing about being involved with a Launchpad is getting allocations in our public IDOs. We are also introducing what we're calling at this point in time the Founders Club, where we would be sharing some of the allocation that we get in the seed, strategic, or even private rounds. And this way, anyone who actually holds our tokens and is part of our higher tiers actually starts to be kind of like a crypto VC. You're getting allocations in early stages of a project, and you are able to invest, and you are able to actually benefit if the project actually goes up. So that's primarily where the EGS or the Enjinstarter token will play. We are also looking at ways that we can use this token to build the community. At this point in time, our community is primarily guys who are excited to participate in public IDOs, but slowly we're going to be evolving this by introducing more gamers. We are also bringing in game testers to be early adopters of some of the games that we're launching, to test it, to give feedback to the game creators, and collectively we can actually grow the industry. And for each of these game testers, we're looking at giving them allocations, or we're giving them an opportunity to actually participate in some of our public IDOs.
Okay, great. I like that you had the three ways of the buying tokens early, staking the tokens, or the last one I have a few questions about, getting allocations in the public IDOs for these others. So by holding the Enjinstarter token, I will get an opportunity to invest in the games that use Enjinstarter. Is that what I understand?
That's right. So so our top tier, you need to hold 500,001 EGS tokens. At this point in time, it's either anywhere from 55,000 to 70,000 for our top tier. And by holding those tokens, you get a guaranteed allocation in projects that we are hosting, and you get an allocation to participate in that public sale. And eventually, for the top tier, we will also be introducing them to the Founders Club, where they can also participate in some of the earlier rounds, which is not made available to the public.
Wow. Okay. So it's almost like if you are in a high tier of holding your tokens, like you said, 500,001, then you kind of have guaranteed whitelist spots for these projects.
That's right.
Wow. That's good. What a good incentive to be able to hold those. That's really, really good. Let's talk about your team. First of all, who's doing the graphics on your website? I said earlier, those are great. I love those.
So the idea that we had with each one of those caricatures that we created, we minted them as NFTs on JumpNet, which is Engin's NFT solution, and we've gifted it to all our investors, right? Of course, once we are a lot more stable, we hope to build some form of storyline, help everyone get involved, help everyone have an identity in our multiverse, and that's our long-term vision. And I think, this is something that we learn from the Engine team. They are the guys that introduce the multiverse concept, where, if you participate in a certain token sale, you own founders tokens. That gives you recognition within the community, and those founders tokens enables you to actually participate in more stuff. And those are things that we're looking at doing. So we strongly believe that NFTs have a bigger role to play in launchpads, where they can be used to encourage loyalty. They can be used to reward investors to actually hold on to tokens on a longer time frame, and these are things that we will be introducing onto our platform to come. And we are constantly looking for artists. We are constantly looking for young artists to give exposure and also kind of help them be known within the ecosystem. So in August, we identified NFT artist who was up and coming. We commissioned him to actually do some work for us. We gave it out as a prize. And following that, he got picked up by the local tourism board. He started getting a lot more exposure, and that's one of the things that we're looking at doing. And being a Launchpad, it allows us to actually work with creators from all kinds on a regular basis, and we're constantly, keeping things afresh by working with some of these artists.
I had no idea that those were NFTs, which is really cool. Is yours? Are you a Ghostbuster? Is that what I'm seeing on yours?
Well, I'm sure you know where that comes from. I shouldn't say that, but yes, it's a Disney Star Wars franchise that is inspired from.
I got you. Okay, yeah, you don't have to. I'm not trying to get you to step on any brand, intellectual property intellectual property type of things, but it's a cool looking avatar. Let me just say that. And if it was inspired by any type of team that took care of, the undead, then I like it. I'm a big fan of it. So I think it looks really good. How big is your team, by the way? I see several people here that are a part of your executive team, but I see a lot of advisors too. How big is your team worldwide?
Yep. So at this point in time, the team's slightly more than 10. Primarily most of us are based here in Singapore. We do have a marketing team of 5 that's based in Philippines, and we're constantly growing the team. A lot of the guys that have joined the team, we've worked with each other for a long time. The guy that leads social media with me, he's worked with me for more than 10 years. He's been involved with me with a whole range of stuff. And I guess that's kind of how I'm trying to curate the team. I've called it Gathering the Avengers, where each one of them brings a value add, which is something that I've experienced personally, or we've worked together on projects together, and now collectively everyone's kind of coming together, to collaborate and take things to the next level. And we've been very fortunate to actually get people coming in to tell us, look, Prak, I think this is where I can add value, and this is what I want to do. And a lot of them have actually started the engagement without even discussing a commercial arrangement. And that's kind of when you know that a lot of these people are committed on the long-term vision of the project.
That's always great whenever some of your, biggest contributors just come from your community and they basically want to do it because it's a passion of theirs, which I always think is a great way to begin. So one thing that's unique about you guys is you said you're all centrally located, or many of you are centrally located in Singapore. Do you have meetings in person, or are you still kind of meeting remotely?
We've been highly remote. Honestly, though we're based here, with all the extended lockdowns, we have not been able to meet face to face. But honestly, work's a lot more productive happening remotely because there's no socializing. You get straight to the point, and I think it's been a lot more effective for us from a team perspective.
Yeah, sure. I definitely see the benefits of that. For one thing, you're all in the same time zone, and that really helps sometimes for scheduling. So you've got a lot of, you've got the nuts and bolts of your project are there, but you need to make people aware of your project. Now, besides doing amazing AMAs, like this one.
Like the one that we're doing now?
Yeah, exactly. How do you make sure that new gaming projects look to you first, or just new investors look to you? How are you marketing?
So I think it's an ongoing journey. We started a video podcast series called Enjinstarter Saloon. I'm actually doing one right after this. And I think at the end of the day, we constantly need to be telling stories. And we can't do this alone. We rely a lot with the partners that we work with. We're very, very fortunate to be supported by a whole range of KOLs that work very closely with us, give us feedback when we have done things wrong, and also kind of guide us when we've got something new to tell. And because the space is getting more and more crowded, the space is getting more and more noisier, it's very, very important that you have a very, very clear approach towards telling your narrative and ensuring that the narrative is communicated effectively to a wide audience. And this is where a whole lot of key opinion leaders that we work with come in. And it's been phenomenal for us.
For sure. And I did notice, and everybody else, I would suggest you do this, on their website, which is Enjinstarter.com, you can go up to Ecosystem and then check out their Enjinstarter Saloon series. It looks great, and I can see it's a video AMA, which is fantastic. Your thumbnails on these things are incredible. I really like, you definitely, from a graphical standpoint, have marketing down pat. But it sounds to me like you're wanting to stay out in front, on social media, whether it be, on Twitter, YouTube, AMAs, that sort of thing. It sounds like social media is probably your biggest method of reaching people. Is that correct, or do you have other ideas in mind?
So we've always gone the journey of organic. We've always gone with the fact that we don't want fake traffic. We've not used any bots. It takes a lot longer. It takes a lot more effort, but this is the way that we believe that we can actually get real audiences joining us. And this is the best value that we can also bring to the projects that are working with us, so that they can also tell their story. They too can also share some of the things that they've not been able to address to the community in a more effective manner.
That's great. So when people join on with you, they don't just join on with you, they also get some marketing opportunities of their own, because they're going to be talked about in some of these AMAs. You've already mentioned some of your projects here in this AMA. So it sounds like exposure for your projects within Enjinstarter get some exposure as well. So let's say everybody's heard all this and they've heard our AMA. I want to learn more. What's the best way for somebody to keep up with the latest of the goings-ons in Enjinstarter?
Sure. Join us in our social platforms. Telegram is pretty effective. We're still trying to improve our game on Discord. We're speaking to a few people from the community. A few guys have stepped up. We'd love to actually get deeper into Discord. But we are present in all social platforms, whether it's YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. Join us. Don't just be passive. Come and tell us ways that we can actually work together. We're always open to a whole lot of discussions. We're just a month old. We started our journey on the 2nd of October. So there's still a long way for us. There's still a lot of infrastructure for us to build. There's a lot of lessons that we are learning on a daily basis. We're still improving ourselves, but we are very, very early in the game. Please come and join us. And hopefully, we would be able to identify some of the next big things when it comes to blockchain gaming and metaverses. And we would be able to share some of our alpha with you guys by being part of the community.
Has that happened thus far, where you've been able to share some early work with the community?
Yes, sure. I mean, we've already done work for Defina and Gaia and Pixelverse. We've got a whole lot of exciting projects coming up. We've got a project called Killbox, which, one of the first FPS that's going to be on chain. Graphics looks awesome. We've got a project called Playamon, which is looking at revolutionizing the whole play-to-earn space. We've got a project called Attack Wagon, which will be launching at the end of November. Beautiful graphics. We're starting to see a whole new level of projects that are coming onto our platform. And I think play to earn is here to stay. We're still very, very early in blockchain gaming, and blockchain gaming will become a key aspect of crypto. So don't miss this opportunity. Invest in these projects, participate by playing, and also by giving feedback to the developers so that they can improve whatever that they're building. But yeah, this is a great way to participate in the crypto space. Be entertained and also create income generating opportunities for yourself.
Fantastic. Love to hear about all that. Well, what I'm going to do now is I want to open it up to our community. I want to make it more of a traditional AMA. And if you have a question you want to ask of here, the CEO of Enjinstarter, then ask away. Ask the question. And if he chooses one of your questions to be able to answer, then MoonWilly will give you $20 in DAI. If he chooses one of your questions, then we will pay you $20 in DAI just for having your question selected. So for that, what I'm going to do, Prakash, is I'm going to talk about MoonWilly for a little bit, kind of take up a little bit of time while you can read the questions. People may be typing them right now or they'll be coming in. And if there are 5 questions that are asked, then we will contact them afterwards. So people are kind of putting in their questions. Let me give you a little bit of a chance to read over them as they come in. And if you will pick 5 of them, I'll give you a little chance to do so. But my name is Steven. I am the voice of DeFi. I do a lot of these AMAs for MoonWilly, and I really enjoy doing them. But here at MoonWilly, it's its token in and of itself. And on this token, you can, do well by getting 8% of every transaction is converted to DAI, almost a hedge against the market. Market goes down, you're converted to DAI, which is a stable coin, always at $1. Market goes up, well, that's good too. It's converted at a higher rate to DAI, and 8% of every transaction, you can get paid with sufficient volume up to every hour. That's the way it works in the smart contract. MoonWilly also has a lot of other things planned in the NFT space. To get these DAI rewards that I spoke of, you will need 250,000 MoonWilly. So to be able to get the DAI rewards, make sure you hold 250,000 MoonWilly. Besides that, you've also get these fire AMAs that I do Monday through Friday. I am in here doing either AMAs or just call it crypto talk. We'll talk with the community members. We'll laugh. We'll talk about whatever is on our mind. Usually it involves crypto. Sometimes it doesn't, and we let the conversation go there as well because it's just fun. I like it to think of it like just a few friends at the bar kind of having a laugh, and that's definitely the vibe that we try to shoot for here at the MoonWilly.com live podcast. All right, Mr. Prakash, have you been able to look over all of these questions, and have you been able to find 5 of them that you can answer?
Sure. So let me start with the first. Where was it again?
Whenever you read it, if you will read me the name of the person, that'll help me write down who it is.
Right. So the first one is Duffer_EX. And the question goes, NFTs are undeniably a big deal in the blockchain space now. They are an increasing number of NFTs being created across a broad range of platforms like music, art, gaming, and collectibles. How does your project finance different from the other NFT trading collection platforms, right? So to answer this question, I think the way that we see NFTs is the way that, when tokens came into the space in 2017, 2018, it created a new way where projects could actually fundraise. We believe that NFTs today are a vehicle or a vessel to actually address value transfer, right? So we're seeing that in a big way in music, in art, gaming, and collectibles. That's where we still are primarily very, very focused on. We still believe that it's a way that it can help gamers to actually own assets that would move from one environment to another. And that's kind of where true value creation and retention is done. But we eventually see these NFTs playing a role in digital identity management, in selling of fractionalized land, fractionalized horses, and a whole range of those things. And again, we're very, very early in this space, but that's primarily our big excitement in the space. And we're constantly looking for projects that actually do that, right? So when we see an NFT project that's doing a virtual land space, and we are excited to be involved with it, at the back of our head, we are thinking that someday the same technology, the same approach may be used to actually sell real-world real estate, and that's where our big excitement is, right? So that's kind of like the first thing I wanted to address.
Yeah, that was an excellent question and an excellent answer.
Yeah. So the second question I would say is from Zeus, and it goes around what is our business model, right? So primarily our business model is through investing early into projects and being able to follow that project through their vesting cycle, to value add to them in all ways possible without charging upfront, because when the time comes for us to kind of sell some of those tokens, that's where we actually start to see the true ROI on our investments. And in crypto, and being early in crypto, we do see some crazy multiples, and I guess that's kind of where we will continue seeing some crazy returns in some of the investments that we're doing. At this point in time, we don't have intent to charge anyone. We would primarily either invest in the project or find a way to actually leverage the token strategies that we have, whether it's staking, whether it is investing into other ecosystems to actually create a win-win situation for our community. And primarily for our community, the key thing that we want to deliver is for them to actually see appreciation in the token value, and that's the best value that we can give to the community.
Excellent answer.
The next question is from VR, and it's about our primary reason for existence, right? Now, we see blockchain gaming and metaverses interchangeable, right? Of course, metaverses at this point in time are the hottest tagline, and everyone is now using it. But for us, we've always seen metaverses, the journey starting from gaming and starting from some of these virtual worlds that have been created. And as technology improves, as more and more people actually start participating in these ecosystems, is where we will actually accelerate the journey into metaverses. And of course, our vision of the metaverse is completely different from what Mark Zuckerberg sees it. We completely believe it's got to be decentralized. We completely believe that each one of us is going to own a part of it. And that's why blockchain and cryptocurrency is going to be a key catalyst for the vision of metaverse that we see.
Excellent. Yeah, I'm glad that it is different. Hey, what was the person's name that you just answered?
Zeus.
Okay. And then afterwards, did you have one that was VR or ZR or?
Oh, yes, it's VIOR. VIOR.
VIOR. Perfect. All right, I've got that down. If you want to answer, you've answered 3. If you can answer 2 more.
Sure. Well, I guess the next one is Olive, OLIV, and she's asked us why hasn't anyone attempted to run a Launchpad on Engine? I would say it's our good fortune. We saw that window of opportunity. We've come in. We are the first. We don't expect to be the only one here. If other guys come on and build Launchpads on us, we'll still find ways to collaborate with them. Because at the end of the day, what is most exciting to us is the Engine as well as the Efinity ecosystem. Engine has been the earliest pioneer in blockchain gaming. They've been in the space since 2017. They've got a very strong, loyal community, and they are all very, very passionate about blockchain gaming. And I think the biggest excitement that we have is Efinity. Today was actually a big day for Efinity. They announced their ecosystem fund.
Yes. You there?
Hi. Yep.
Okay.
Here.
Sorry. I can always tell whenever something's about to go wrong. The audio quality changes for a second, and then something odd happens.
It's weird.
It just happens.
Yeah,
That's all right. That's all right.
So Efinity announced the ecosystem fund today. Of course, the token pumped. But Efinity is a project that everyone who's listening in needs to learn about and needs to explore further, because it's something that I've been following for a long time, and we are really very, very close to the launch of Efinity, and Efinity is going to be a massive game changer in the NFT space. And yeah, definitely will encourage more launchpads to be coming up in this ecosystem, and we can collectively build up the ecosystem, bring new people to actually experience the Engine ecosystem, and start building more content on the platform.
Excellent. All right. We've got 4 so far people that I've gotten written down. If you can answer one more question, I would appreciate it.
Sure. Okay, I'm going to answer this question by Mikkel, M-I-C-K-E-L. And the question goes whether it's possible for us as Enjinstarter to build a thriving community that truly cares and support the project for a long time rather than just making temporary profit, right? Honestly, this is definitely where we are today, right? A lot of the people who are within the ecosystem are early adopters who enjoy participating in some of these sales at a very early stage. And, they may hold on to these tokens for a long time, or they may choose to sell it once they've made sufficient profit. But where we want to go towards is to actually have a stronger community of gamers who are willing to actually play some of the games that we are launching, and also to be actually giving feedback on how these games can actually improve. And what we're trying to work towards is more of a proof of gaming concept. And we're also trying to introduce ways where people participate in games to actually earn allocations, right? So we'll be sharing a lot more of this in the months to come. We're trying to, improve the way that we're actually sharing alpha within our community. And we're trying to value the fact that some of these guys can actually participate early, give feedback, and be rewarded accordingly for that. So I think growing a community is never easy. From time to time, the community needs to mature, and from time to time, new blood needs to be brought in, new value needs to be brought in terms of what the community can do. And a lot of it will come from the community, right? We strongly believe that people from the community will be promoted to do more. They can be ambassadors, they can be scouts, they can be advisors, or they can be game testers. And that's exactly what we're building towards.
Excellent, excellent. Well, it has been fantastic hearing all these answers from you. Fantastic hearing about your project, Enjinstarter, and I encourage everyone to look into this more. Go to Enjinstarter.com and find out everything you can about the project. Introduce yourself to the community. Tell them you know about it from this MoonWilly podcast. That's always a good way to learn about great projects. Before I send us on our way, I'm going to get you to close us out with a wise word. You had quite a journey to get to your position that you're on now, but there's somebody out there that's really trying to find their purpose, trying to find out what they are passionate about, and they're going through the woes of life. To that person, what do you say to them? Can you give them a wise word?
Sure. I think we are in the greatest wealth transfer that has happened in humanity, right? We are definitely seeing a whole lot of wealth being created in crypto. Be patient, commit yourself to a community, be active, look to find ways that you can contribute to the community and grow with the community. You will never go wrong. Crypto is one of those things that if you put in time, put in the right reasons, invest, equity in terms of time, funds, and feedback, and the community will pay you back. It's going to give you a boost. It's going to give you an uplift. And just be patient. Things will go up, and whatever goes up will also come down. But if you hang around and if you don't sell, things will look a lot better. And I'll strongly encourage you guys to look at blockchain gaming as well as metaverses. It's truly the future. Big brands are coming in now. You guys are here early. Grab a piece of that action. Don't give up. Don't lose hope. Always hang on to your beliefs. Always hang on to your passion, and the ecosystem will pay you when the time comes.
Love it. Love it. Love that bit of advice. Thank you so much for being here. You've been a fantastic guest, and I really appreciate you just sharing your knowledge with us.
Awesome. It's been a pleasure.
Thanks for listening to the official MoonWilly podcast. Don't forget to head to MoonWilly.com and learn more about this exciting token.
This podcast is not financial advice. Do not take anything said in this podcast as advice for buying or selling any crypto, stock, index, or other trading tool. You should do your own research or seek the help of a trained financial advisor. This is for entertainment only. The information contained in or provided from or through this podcast is not intended to be and does not constitute financial advice, investment advice, trading advice, or any advice.